How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Is It a Buy, where we talk about stocks and try to determine if they are with the buyer, maybe a pass. My name is Corey. I'd just like to preface the video by saying I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who likes to talk about stocks, so please take what I say with a grain of salt, all right? Let's get into the video. What the heck? There's no one in the chat today. That's all right. Man, looks like we're gonna have a smooth stream today. We're gonna get to a lot of questions, answer whatever you guys want to know, and we're gonna have a good time. Welcome everybody. Dog, hello. A little green is a whole lot better than a little red. Yeah, you know, I'd agree with that. A little bit of green feels real nice, and I love it. Let's see. Rafter, yep. What's up? Sal, Diamond Hands, Cobain, Gorilla Strong, Apes Together Strong. Sal, what is up? I think I already said hi to Sal. It was a great Green Day Tipsy, 100%, guys. And, you know, I'm going to talk about this, and, you know, I want to prepare people for the calm before the storm. And I really am curious about what's going to happen, which way this is going to go. But we'll talk about what I mean whenever I said the calm before the storm. That's what I should have named the. Actually, I'm going to change the title of the stream just because. Beautiful day. The calm the storm. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Nah, I'll just do it. That's fine. Trade just tweeted they could have covered at $5. And you know what? That is the thing that whenever people ask, you know, what's going on? Like, what's their strategy? At this point, then they don't have a strategy, in my opinion. They really don't have a strategy, right? We've seen the numbers. We saw the Ortex data. They've been holding for, on average, for about 50 days, you know, 60 days, sure. Whenever it was around $10, right? The stock went all the way down to $5 and it was holding at $5. It was stuck at $5. And honestly, they could have exited at $5. They could have just been done with it. I don't know how long they were shorting for, but it's ridiculous, right? These guys, the amount of greed and the amount of, remember, they can only made, the most they could have made, absolute most, was $5 per share. And granted, if AMC did go bankrupt, at that point, they could have also made, well, they weren't going bankrupt. There was no way they were going to go bankrupt. At $5 a share, they should have exited, but they really thought that they could stick it out and win. Joke's on them. You can't even feel bad for them, really. You know, I'm a pretty lenient guy, right? You know, I feel bad for people who I shouldn't feel bad for, right? And, you know, the hedge funds, you know, other than all their illegal activities and stuff, them being so greedy, being so egocentric, everything that they've done, right? They should have taken their win, right? They could have, I guess, won and exited at $5, but no. They wanted to short a stock that was not going bankrupt at any longer. Remember, at $5, it was already known that this stock, and remember, it went to 25 and all this, went back down, was at $5. They should have exited. They decided not to exit. The apes did DD, and, you know, they underestimated their you know, opponent, so to speak. You know, the opposite version, or the opposite direction that they were betting. And look at them now. Look at them now. So whenever anybody asks me, you know, what's their plan? They don't have a plan. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Mike Tyson said that. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. These guys got punched in the face, and now they're stumbling. They've been stumbling, and they can't seem to recover. And realistically, at this point, I don't think there is a recovery. I just don't think there's a recovery at all for them. And we've seen the numbers. We've seen everything. Based on everything, you know, even let's say there are magically no naked shorts, right? And they're just short the float or whatever. Either way, they're still losing billions of dollars a week, regardless, right? And we'll get into those numbers. Sandra, what is up? Green Day. Yep. Matthew. So Matthew says, anyone think it's going to drop a bit so I can scoop up the dip? Matthew, I personally strongly believe, and we're actually going to get into this in a little bit. This week is going to be rough. This is going to be truly, in my opinion, I think this is where we're going to be, where the diamond hands are made. This right here, we're going to feel, remember how this felt, right? 2 Fridays ago. Remember how this felt? This was rough. Felt a little rough, but you know what? We have to remember that we had our victories, but this kind of feeling is what is going to happen. I personally believe it is going to run up, and then it is going to, well, I think this is the run. I think they're going to really, really push it to expire under $40, right? I'm telling you, that is all they want this week. Even then, even if they do get it under $40, I don't know if it'll actually be enough for them for it to not gamma squeeze. Even if it does close under $40, I'm pretty sure that would be end game for them. If they make it close under $40, theoretically, one would assume that they wouldn't want to risk it anymore. They'll just start covering, or they're going to hope that the momentum dies if it does not close above $40 and all those options expire in the money. And we'll get into the options in just a second. Let's talk about AMC in a second. As we know, AMC closed at up 3.58% on the day at 59.04. Very, very nice. We did get this false break. As we all know, we do need it to hold over this level of support or resistance actually at this point, and we keep getting false breaks. We got a false break. Realistically, we've been getting tests. We got a false break, which I do like, and even here, microscopically, it is bullish, right? We're setting higher lows and higher highs, so it's looking good right here, microscopically over the past 2 days. And even if you want to go back here, right, we could go theoretically starting, we'll start at the pre-market over here, higher lows and higher highs. So it's great. This is a great little 3-day setup we have. I'm not sure if that's enough to actually put us in a good, technical position, as far as technical analysis goes. So, I was going to be waiting and seeing if we continue to hold and break through that. But like I said, I really think they're going to try to mess with us. They're going to try to, and when I say us, they're going to try to mess with the stock. They're going to try to make this stock go down as far as possible so those options don't expire in the money. So that's what I would say. If anyone's looking for an entry point, I would be looking for an entry point on, probably around Friday. And on Friday, personally, I'm going to take, I do have options expiring in the money. I'm going to show you guys some crazy, actually, I'm going to make a video about it. And I'm going to show you guys some freaking crazy numbers to show you guys the power of options. I'm also going to show you this crazy bet that I'm going to make on Friday. I'm still kind of hashing out the details and seeing how it's going to play out, because I have to make sure there's a few things I have to make sure. But you guys are going to see you guys are going to see how much I believe in the stock on Friday. Like, you guys thought my bets previously were like big. You have no idea. You have no idea what's about to come. I'm hyped up. You guys I'm not playing. CT, DTC 005. We are going to talk about DTC 005. Yes, 100%. People who ask, Sweet Connie says, people who ask, what do you think it will do? I have no clue about stocks. If anyone knew what stocks would do, they would be billionaires. Connie, that's a great point. I think people just kind of want other people's opinions, and I have no problem giving it to them. And realistically, I feel like the technical analysis is kind of working in the stock, right? Obviously, we're gonna have some interesting days, but what stock doesn't have, interesting days, some weird days, a little bit of a gamma squeeze. It's kind of like a regular stock on steroids, right? That is also in a short squeeze position. There's just a lot of things going on with the stock that it's just all happening so quickly. It's very, very, very volatile. I spoke with Fidelity today, actually, and they let me know what's going on. Well, I guess I'll talk about that on whenever I create that video. But yeah, it's crazy stuff. They just said it was super volatile, by the way. That's all Fidelity really said. What's up, Tipsy? Grant, I can't stop buying more. Loving how we're looking fantastic, right? I mean, just looking so fantastic. Gosh, I'm so excited. Yep. Dog says, Corey, you hit it on the head. Calm before the storm. Hope everyone can handle the storm. I think, and this is why I need people to be ready for it. You know, before I was, I don't know. I just want to let people know that there's possibly a storm to come, right? But I think people know. I think, and I think most people know, right? I don't think I'm really saying anything groundbreaking when I say they're going to try everything in their power to not let the stock close above $40 this week. That is a given. That's a given. Everyone knows that. So hopefully people truly know that, right? Hopefully everyone in the chat knows that. Hopefully everybody on Reddit knows that. And, you know, we'll just have to see. The poor dude says, where's all the sell orders coming from if everyone is holding? Well, you know, dude, what you have to think of is, you know, there are people who are, you know, they're swing trading this stock, they're exiting, they're paper hands, they're scared. But realistically, you know, let's look at capital.com really quick. And then if we look at AMC, right here, we can see basically the sentiment. So as we can see, the sentiment was actually a little bit different today. This has typically been 97 and 3%. So it has shifted just a tad. And I understand, like, the stock is pretty high. It's very close to the all-time high still. You know, the all-time high being, you know, $77. It's at like just under 60. So, you know, some people are scared, they don't want to lose the money, this and that. You know, there's a bunch of different reasons of, you know, a bunch of different things that are going on. But either way, let me close this. The sentiment you can still see here, right? A lot of people are holding, adding their positions, and of course there are people exiting, and there are people, like I said, swing trading. So it's not all, you know, one way. People want to think, right? The apes want to think, okay, it's looking good. It is going one way, the only way. And, you know, if you look at the DD, I think in the long run, regardless of what people try to do, theoretically, there's so many positions that need to be covered that even if there are swing traders and stuff, while they're not helping anything, they're not gonna ruin the squeeze for everybody. But it's still, like, personally, like, I'm definitely not gonna swing trade, because I'd rather play the long game, right? I don't have time to sit here all day, play the ups and the downs. And you really, you know, it's easy to see it here and say, oh, okay, it's going to go up and then it's going to go down. Yeah, but you don't really know which way it's going to go in the end, right? So, yeah. Because if you look at it here, I mean, anyways, you never really know which way it's going to go, but it is bouncing within here. And I think we'll probably get a break hopefully soon. But this week, like I said, it's going to be rough. What's up, Hamza? So I have to have a position in AMC to watch your video. Maybe I'm part of a hedge fund. Who knows? I have to have no. You don't have to have a position in AMC to watch the videos. What? Dip before the rip. Can I start looking for a beach house? Peter, I'm not sure how much money you need to buy the beach house, but you know, if you're up right now, feeling good, you know, here's the deal. I'll do anything to not look at the stock. I'm trying really not to spend the money. You know, I guess I did look at trucks, you know, like cheap trucks that are, you know, $20,000 or something, but realistically, if I had it my way, I would love to get that new Ford Lightning truck. That thing looks pretty cool. The fully electric Ford looks very, very cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue here for a little bit. Let's look at a few of these stocks. And I want to get into Ortex. I want to get into you know, all the good stuff. You guys know what I like to do. So let's take a look, and then we'll get back into it. So GameStop. So GameStop is kind of, you know, what is this? Let's look at the 5-day. So kind of coming down, right, and just bouncing here at the bottom on the let's look at the 1 month again. I like that a little bit better. And it does look like we found a bottom around here, around, you know, we'll call it 212 or something. I'm gonna go ahead and just move this one since we're not using it for anything apparently. And I want to see if I can touch that candle as well. I like this one because I'm touching as many candle wicks as possible. So we'll go ahead and use that. But yeah, we'll call it around 212. A nice little, a few little bounces. Hopefully it doesn't break through. I would love to see a reversal coming in, but remains to be seen. You know, if we're actually going to get that. I'm gonna go ahead and make this red just so we can get a little more indicators on what's going on. I like to look at the tops for the day. Oof. Okay, this is forward, not forward. Forward is F, so I got a little excited there incorrectly, because for Ford to be up that high would be pretty impressive, even though they've been on a pretty good run recently. Let me see if there's anything here that I recognize. Mind medicine, I know there's a few people in there. And then we'll take a look at Ortex. Oh, this is let's look at the 1 day. Whoops. Torchlight, I recognize them. No, I don't think anything else. I do want to look at the 5 days. See if AMC's on the 5 day here somewhere. Oh no, it wouldn't have been on the 5 day. All right, that's all right. Let's look at the 1 day, and let's look at the losers for the day. Hey, nothing really too crazy. Yeah, let's look at the 1 day. All right. Yeah, nothing I really recognize on here. I'll take, no problem. Okay, let's get back to the stocks, and let's take a look at Doge at 32 cents right now. Bitcoin finally coming up to 40, breaking 40 again. It's been a while since it broke 40. I'm sure people who were in here very happy it broke 40 again. All right, let's get back to the good stuff. Good old AMC. And let's go over to Ortex. Let's take a look at Ortex and see what's going on with AMC. Now, keeping in mind, I always want to mention it just to be crystal clear. These numbers are about 60% of the, or the top numbers are about 85% of the exchanges. These numbers over here are about 60% of the exchanges. Now, even then, the shares on loan, I think they're kind of staying the same. Yeah, it looks like they borrowed more, so this number should have gone up theoretically a little bit. The changes as far as today, the short interest is going back up actually very, very quickly. It's going back up. And so I actually am very happy that it's going back up, because even if they do some kind of trickery and not enough shares expire in the money or whatever, these guys are still getting, the rocket is getting prepped to launch either way. Either way that rocket is going to launch. And even if it takes like a long time, if we have to, it launches, it refuels, launches, refuels, I'll take that. That is slow, steady, levels, right? Until we get some kind of, whether it be a gamma squeeze, actual short squeeze, some kind of actual movement. I have no problem with it going, refueling. All right. I'm perfectly fine with that. So let's go and continue over here. Oh yeah, we were looking at the Ortex numbers. So yeah, either way, these numbers are extremely, extremely high. This went all the way down to 11.04%. And even when it was down there, those are great numbers, right? Those are great numbers. I think they say Tesla squoze at 5% short interest or something, maybe 6. It was maybe 4 to 6, we'll say, somewhere around there. And it still went as high as it went. It was just insane. Okay, let's take a look at Ortex. I did want to take a look here. What's this? Oh, snap. 1 second. Let me message my mod really quick. All right, sorry about that. Important message, very important message. Okay, so let's take a look at the fails to deliver. So I should be able to click this and open this in a new tab, and we'll see if this number comes up. So, but you know what? I really don't have anything to. Where's the fails to deliver? Failure to deliver. Okay. Why does it seem so low? What is this all the way up here? 27 million. And what day was this? January 27th, 27 million. And back here, this is June 1st. So it looks like we only have it this far back. Let's see when it says. Second half of May. Either way, it's down here. It's really nothing. The numbers really aren't as exciting as I was hoping. Uh, interesting. Yeah, 3 million or whatever this would be. Okay, well, it is what it is. I don't I don't know what to say with that one, honestly, but that's all right. So let's go take a look at Ortex. Ortex had some other things. So AMC short sellers lost 512 million after Monday's rally. Obviously today's Tuesday, but I mean, that's insane. I don't know why here it says 488 million. They're saying 512 million. Either way, even if it's 488 million, that's a lot of money to lose on a Monday, just on a Monday, first day of the week. So yikes-erino. Let's take a look here. And then, okay, so anyway, same number. So we can see estimated short interest. This was 9 hours ago. The estimated short interest for AMC has increased, rising by 2.52% on the day. Let's see what this updated to the end. So the short interest change being 1.64% on the day instead of the 2%. But either way, it's still moving up very, very, very quickly. Very quickly. Can I see the short interest of free float right here? And can I see what it was? Let's see what it was. What day was this? I'm actually pretty curious about these numbers right here. If we were to go back here on, we'll call it, what day is this? 6/1. 6/1/62. So let's see what it was around that time. See if there's anything significant there. So failure to deliver. Nope, not failure to deliver. Short interest is this yellow one right here. So short interest on the first was around 17.33, right? That's where it kind of peaked at. 17, we'll say 17%, 17.5%, sure. So above 17% is when we had some of those crazy movements, right? And we can see it right here. If I could just, gosh dang it, it's just covering it. Oh, no, that won't work. Okay. Well, as you can see around this area, you can see how the price went up. The short interest was just running up. We went all the way to 19.37. And oh, okay, this is that. I guess that was the highest right here, 19. Either way, above 15 is like ridiculous. Currently, even at 13, it is very, very high. Do not fool yourself. Do not shield you in any kind of way. Okay. I seem to be frozen. Hopefully, I'm not actually frozen. All right, we're good. Okay, so continuing on. Let me catch up on the chat really quick, and then I want to go over a few of these things. We do have DCC 005 that I want to talk about, and currently we do have about 30 minutes left in the after hours until the market closes, and I'm very curious to know exactly what happens here. We're holding actually pretty strong. I was worried it was going to fall. I think tomorrow they're probably going to start shorting pretty heavily, honestly, and so yeah. I think they are going to probably start shorting pretty heavily very, very soon. Oh, I didn't even pull up the Stonko tracker yet. What am I doing? What is this, amateur hour? Actually, we're done with this one, so I'm going to pull up Stonko tracker. What's funny is GameStop was the one that used to always pull up first, but now AMC is indexed as the first one. Put this in dark mode, and we will see still 484,000 contracts times 148 million shares to run up. I mean, boy, oh boy, freaking boy, wild. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, we have that. And so, okay, let's talk about the options really quick. So this is what I'm talking about whenever it comes to these options. Remember, so let's recap about how important these options are. So around this time, around whenever this Friday was, I guess right here, 528. So around here, right here, all the way down here, around 32 bucks. This was a Friday right here. And on this Friday, it was around 19 million or 190,000 contracts that expired in the money. Okay, so let's just do the total amount of 19 million shares or 190,000 contracts, just to be crystal clear. And the reason how I get those numbers are, it's how many options right here expired in the money or in the green of the calls that expired in the green. So for example, we see the $50 strike has 23,000 contracts. One contract is 100 shares. So you would do 23,000 times 100 which would give you I think it's 200,000 at this one. It's hard to do. It's easier to do whenever there's, oh yeah, this would be 2.3 million, I believe, right? Because we can do, let's do the quick math, because, you know, smooth brain, 100 times 23,000 equals 2.3 million, right? So at 2.3 million shares right here alone. Now, that's a lot of shares, right, to be purchased, to be hedged for. Method, I'll talk about RLLCF in just a second. Let me get through this. We'll talk about that and we'll go on. Thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue down here. Okay, so 2.3 million right here, right? Okay, that's not bad. Now, and so let's go back here really quick, right? So last week, whenever we were around here and we did the crazy move, there were around, we'll call it 20 million shares, right? 20 million shares. Currently, what's set to expire is 48 million shares. More than double is currently going to expire at our current strike price of $59, right? That is insane. Now, if we got to 60, that would be over 5 million shares, right? The 48 plus the 3 million would bring this to 5. So over 50 million shares, over 50 million shares, which is unbelievable. Like, that is huge. That's some huge movement. And based off that, just off 19,000 shares, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm getting these numbers all crazy. 19 million shares. We had this crazy gamma squeeze right here, 100% on a day. I think it was just under 100% on the day. We did hit 100 and then kind of retraced it just a tad. So yeah, just crazy moves. Now imagine double that, okay? Because that's what we're looking at, more than double that currently. Now, that's why I think that these guys are going to go insane. They're going to try everything they can to not allow the contracts to expire in the money, okay? Extremely important for people to understand that, okay? Extremely important, because it's going to be a rocky road. It's some rocky road ice cream stuff going on, okay? So be ready for that. And I'm not trying to shill anybody. I'm not trying to say, you know, play it as a swing. For all I know, tomorrow's going to be a great day. The next day is going to be great. And you know what? They've given up and it's going to hit $70 by Friday and I'm a clown, right? But I do just personally think that they're probably going to do anything and everything in their power to not allow these options to expire in the money. All right, so let's go and continue about actually, let me take a look at this, and I want to talk about some of these DDs and stuff that's up here, some of these posts. Let me answer this super chat really quick. RLLCF, Rolls Royce. Okay, so this is an OTC. No, what is this? Hold. I don't know where you found this, my friend. PLC preferred shares. 6 months. Seems like some kind of weird penny stock. I don't fully understand what this is. Okay, let's see if we can look at the profile really quick, and then we'll get into it. So let's look at the profile. So this is a UK based engineering company, focused on power and propulsion systems. You know, what's the difference between this and Ricey? Ricey rolls. See, this is what I'm used to seeing right here. It looks like the same kind of thing, but Ricey's OTC. Now, as far as this one goes, the profile. So as we know, they do kind of like aerospace and stuff. It's kind of like rocket propulsion, stuff like that, power propulsion or power and propulsion systems, things like that. So it's actually very, very interesting. Now, the question is, are they going to be able to penetrate the market with what they're doing? I haven't done enough DD or research. Like, they're doing aerospace and defense. We know there's a lot of money in aerospace and defense, but we also know there's a lot of money lost in aerospace and defense. Is very, very, very risky. The only one who's been partially successful has been Elon Musk's SpaceX. Is the only one that's been partially successful. Amazon tried one, and it totally was a bust, and now he's asking for I think a $10 billion bailout or something to try and get out of his blunder. So it's very, very risky, but if they're able to pull it off, if they find the right funding, then it can be pretty great, but probably not my favorite. Fundings, annual, let's see if there's anything in here that looks good. Gross profit, as you can see, gosh, just not looking good. 3 billion, 1.5 billion, 1.2 billion, negative 287. Now, granted, keep in mind, this is not the full picture. This is a little snapshot of what's going on, but where is that money going? Where's that money being allocated to? Maybe they put all their money into rockets and the whole thing, and they're trying to blow it up. In 2 years, it's going to be huge. But currently, it's really going in a completely wrong direction where they're not even profitable anymore. Can't see the institutional ownership, which is a pretty big thing. No analysts, no news, news kind of industrial stocks boost. Yeah, so I just be a little bit careful with this. They were up 24% on the day. I personally don't like to chase stocks. I'd be very worried that they're going to retrace pretty hard. Even if they went back here to 30 cents, there could be some at 24 cents or no 0.24 cents, and back down here to 0.16 cents. So not really my favorite. I'd be very, very, very careful with this thing. I will personally not be taking a position, but I'm all in on AMC. I preferred stock. Rice's common stock. Oh, okay. So that's just preferred and common. Yeah. So same kind of analysis though. I'd just be a little worried, but if you're really trying to make some kind of change or have some good, I think with a preferred stock, it's more voting rights or something like that. So it could be something good, but I'd just be a little cautious. I'm not sure, if your vote is going to have enough impact to really make the stock worth it, or maybe. But my favorite thing would be if you say, Corey, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. This stock is fantastic for XYZ. That'd be my dream, but kind of hard to say. Galaxy says DT005 has passed. When will it go into effect? Actually, we're going to talk about that right now because that one's actually pretty important. Or we're going to talk about that within these because those are actually pretty important talking points. So let's go ahead and start with this. So we'll start with this right here. So it's I'll read this and then I'll go into my little spiel. So what the heck is this? This is not an enlistment, much less an army. This is a group of individuals that like the stock. That's it. Do not let them have this narrative, okay? Do not let, and I want to emphasize, do not let them have this narrative. If anyone says, you guys are grouped up doing the same, be very clear that we are individual investors who just like the stock. I'm not over here. Now there's two ways you can look at it. Number one, there's not even two ways you can look at it. You have to make sure that you understand that all I'm doing is I'm on here and I'm sharing you guys the DD that I find, the Reddit articles that I find, my personal thoughts, and that's it. If you were going to some kind of, now not as prestigious, but if you were going to some kind of conference and they were just sharing information with you, say, hey, this is interesting information. Take a look at this. I think, for example, if you're talking about fossil fuels, you would say, hey, I think fossil fuels is going to have a rough few years during the green era when everything's trying to go electric and yada, yada, yada. But maybe in 5 or 10 years, everyone will be back to fossil fuels because it's crucial for this industry or whatever. That's the equivalent of what is happening here. I'm just presenting information because I'm looking at it anyways. And if anyone wants to listen to me ramble all day for a little bit, then hey, you're more than welcome to, right? If you like the stock and you're curious about what may or may not be going on, and you want to see if there's manipulation, to contact your local representative, your political representative, so they can look into it and contact the SEC or whatever is going on, then hey, you're more than welcome to, right? Because you don't want your investment to just go down the drain because the SEC isn't doing their job or whatever. And so I just want to be crystal clear, because it says here, Trey's Trades has enlisted an army of meme traders known as apes. I don't know about you, but Trey didn't recruit me. I don't know if he recruited any of you guys. Trey didn't recruit anybody. He has no sign-up list. He has no sheet of paper of all the apes. He has nothing. Trey is just giving the information and saying, hey, if you like it, cool. If you don't, no problem. See you later. So I just want to be crystal clear with that, because you have to keep in mind, people ask all the time, how is this going to happen? How is the government not going to step in and stop this from happening? This is exactly the kind of stuff that the government will step in and stop the squeeze from happening. They will have no doubt about that. They will step in and say, nope, this is collusion. You guys are grouped together. You guys are this, you guys are that. And that's how it gets stopped. So, and they're trying to paint this narrative of the apes are colluding and grouping together. Nope, I just like the stock. I assume you like the stock. And I just want to let you know what I know. And you guys let me know what you know. And you make your decisions, I'll make my decisions. And that's that. So just to be crystal clear, because this is not to joke with. I appreciated this because this is actually a great point. The shills can't keep the stock down, right? The shills only keep the stock down if you let it keep the stock down, right? Individually. And this Jackson Hunter, a lot of people know who that is. When AMC was at $1.91, they said it was going bankrupt, right? And granted, after, no one really knew which way it was going to go. It was on the verge of bankruptcy by Adam Aron's own admission. But what happened? It got saved, right? No longer going bankrupt, right? And then it went up to $5.50. They said it's not worth $1. Went up to $8. They said, no one's going to theaters anyways. It's like, they just don't understand. When it went to 15, they said it would never touch $25 again. People were telling me that personally, right? People were saying, Corey, I can't believe you did not sell at $25, or $20 or anywhere. They said it will never go back up again. Like, people told me personally who aren't these people. And I was at $57 and they're saying the squeeze will never happen. Every single thing that they've said has the opposite has happened, right? Not worth $1, way past $1. No one goes to the theaters. Everyone's going to the theaters. Never touched 25 again. We're at $57. We're at $59 today. Now they're saying the squeeze isn't going to happen. You make your own decisions, but I'm extremely bullish on everything going on. And on freaking Friday, you guys are going to see how bullish I am. You guys are going to see how bullish I am. You have no idea. No, I freaking idea. Get rid of all your... Okay, yes. We talked about this before, but just in case anyone was not here, these $69 orders, first of all, I would never sell my orders for $69. If you think I'm going to sell my order for my shares personally for double digits, you have another thing coming. Heck no. Heck no. Absolutely not. I am not going to be selling my shares for this low. So on top of that, this person said it's not cute or funny or anything like that, and it probably messed us up last time. And I would agree with that, right? We if you were on the stream or whatever that day, we saw that there was a rejection at $69, and usually the rejection is at like 70. And granted, it's close enough. Maybe it didn't actually reject at $70. Maybe it was just a coincidence, but so silly, right? So silly. And if there's a rejection at 420, that's going to be really disappointing as well, because people are so bullish on this, and they put these as jokes months ago, right? Literally months ago. And we saw it, and you know what? This is just a shame that you would accidentally paper hand yourself at this price, and especially if if it eats through the gap quick enough, gaps up to 80 or something, or 100, because it's squeezing, and now you're out at 69, and you have to try to buy back in before it hits $1,000. You would hate for that to happen. So keep that in mind. Get rid of sell orders in general. I personally like that thought. Let's see. Applies to AMC. Yes, applies to the AMC. So take a look, right? And this is something. And granted, there are differences between. Let me see something. Here, just this topic. Where are we going? And that's exactly DD. Yes, Matt. Yes, he does. I'm holding AMC. Yes, I do have a video on options, PC. I do have a video on trading options and how to be in the money and yada yada. I'm going to show you guys a crazy option play one of these days. One of these days, I'm going to show you guys a crazy option play. I got to get it all sorted out and figured out. But man, I am looking forward. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be good stuff. So keep this in mind whenever you're looking at your stock, right? And especially whenever we're having this kind of movement, which I'm telling you guys, I think we're going to see something like this. It's going to not feel good at all right here. Just a crazy drop. This is when your stop loss order comes in, where it just triggers it automatically, chain reaction. They don't need to short it all the way down to here. They just need to hit the chain effect, right? The right number for the chain effect. And I always say that, but I want to freaking just let you guys know that. Now, so imagine if someone came, you just bought your house for $300,000. Now some person comes knocking on the door and says, hey, and they start freaking out and they say, hey, like you got to get rid of your house. Like the housing market's going to crash or whatever. I'll buy your $300,000 home right now for $270,000. It's like, are you going to freak out and say, okay, take it? Like, what? Like, just if you're interested, here you go. If you're interested, no, apply the same logic to your portfolio, right? Now, granted, there are times when you need to get out. Okay, if you're in, I don't know what it would be. If you're in Ford and they just announced that all their cars are defective, they're gonna have to recall, and they're probably gonna go under, yada yada. If you need a paper hand at that point, then that makes sense, right? That this company's probably gonna go under, the stock is gonna plummet, and then it's like an Enron situation where all the money was fake, blah blah blah. Then there are times to paper hand 100%, or if DD that other people don't know, whatever it would be, right? So keep that in mind, just 100%. Hey Tate, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I just try to be honest. All right, yeah, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. I see. G Money, we're actually going to talk about that right now as well. That's in this DD. So yeah, I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention. Like, I don't want anyone to, and granted, I'm not trying to tell anyone to hold. I'm not trying to tell anyone to sell. I just want you to just keep these kinds of things in mind, right? It's so hard to see it whenever you're in the thick of it, right? When you're in the thick of it, it's so hard to see. But hindsight is 20/20, and you can take yourself out of it, and you can look around and say, hey, like, yes, like this makes sense. Like, don't. If you're playing, with your emotions and stuff, that could bite you. That could bite you badly. Okay. Let me go ahead and let's see. Michael says, when is SEC coming out on the hedges? It's going up and down. We need to hold them by AMC. I've got all my brothers into AMC. Nice, Michael. Yeah. I mean, I try to, let people know what's going on with AMC. I really think Friday is going to be the day. I'm so curious to know how Friday's going to end. And I'm freaking looking forward to everything going on with this stock. I'm looking forward to everything going on with it. Now, as far as when the SEC is coming down on the hedges, that remains to be seen. We're going to talk about DTC 005 and all these other things. But realistically, hey, what's up, Damon? Realistically, I don't know what we're waiting for anymore. Honestly, I'm going to have to look at the DTCC filings and stuff and see what's passed and hasn't passed, because, there are supposed to be so many filings that look so promising, right? That they're going to force the... Oh, actually, so on the 21st, I think it's the 21st, there is that filing that says that they're going to run their... Hold on, let me think if I can think of this rule. They're going to run like simulations or something. Like, they're going to have a system that it's a computer that runs a test to see if the hedge funds are over leveraged, right, or in a bad position. If they are in a bad position, it's going to say, basically, it's going to mark them, yes, margin call, and then theoretically they would have to start covering, right? And that happens on Monday. Now, I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is actually going to happen. I do feel like next. Hey, thanks, Michael. SA in the house, yeah. I think next week is still looking really good either way, because realistically, they have to get us under 40. We're at $59 right now. Now, is it possible for them to force us under 40? Possibly, right? With all their strategies and tactics, all the money they're going to throw in, it's very possible. But if they're unsuccessful, next week. I'm very, very much looking forward to next week. If it doesn't happen next week, that's all right. Like, I'm still extremely bullish on everything happen. I'm sure the failure to delivers would probably go through the roof. But yeah, we're gonna have to see. PC says, wouldn't it be smart to PC, that's a tricky one, right? To hop out, hop back in. I'm not about that. Theoretically, from my understanding, it's not good for the squeeze. Theoretically, also, who knows when to hop out and hop back in? What if I'm wrong, right? What if they have a different plan in mind? They're just going to let it run. They're done today, right? I'd hate for you to hop out. The stock runs to $100 tomorrow, and then you're stuck, right? But in a perfect world, theoretically, everyone wants to sell high, buy low. If it runs up again, rinse and repeat. But it's so hard to say if that's actually going to happen. And I don't, people just say it's not good for the squeeze or whatever. I just personally rather hold. I'm not trying to risk any kind of tendies with that kind of play. All right, so let me go ahead and continue with this. All right, so that's that. So, and this is another one, right? Back to the trades one. Just so everyone is aware, there's no such thing as AMC Day. Per the first rule in this market, in this subreddit, market manipulation of any kind is prohibited. Do not be stupid. Do not be the reason this sub gets shut down, and do not listen to the obvious shills. Now, on top of that, guys, if they see AMC Day, they see everything going on. Now, it's very possible that the SEC, remember, they're looking for something, right? They're probably looking for something that is going to cause or the SEC, I don't want to give the SEC any kind of reason to shut the sub down, stop the squeeze, halt AMC completely, no buying, no selling. Who knows what they can do or what they would do. It would be very, very not good, right, for anything like that to happen. So just be very careful saying, anything. Just be choose your words wisely is what I'll say. There's no leaders. There's no, organization. It's just, I share what I think is going to happen. I share the DD of what I think is going to happen, what I'm personally going to do. You make your decisions, share with me information, and that's it. So I thought this was pretty interesting. So this is a perspective from an ex-FINRA ape. This week is important to them. And so, I really don't know the validity of this person being an ex-FINRA ape. Probably no. Who knows? Who really knows? But to kind of go into this really quick. So I wanted to touch on this part right here. Because basically they're talking about the calls, right? The 480,000 calls that are in the money currently. And so they would have to hedge around 48 million shares. So for those of you who don't know, from my understanding, what they would have to do is no matter what, the market makers are going to have to purchase those shares, 48 million shares, just in case every single person were to exercise their option, right? Exercise meaning purchase the shares rather than selling the contract, right? And so now theoretically this, most people, I would say probably, I really don't know the percentage. I would guess 90% of people, if not higher, typically just sell the contracts, right? But some people also do it this way. They just keep it like this. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I can promise you one thing: they will do everything in their power to make sure this doesn't happen. That is a ton of money, yes. And I'm telling you, I firmly believe that would probably trigger another gamma squeeze. Another gamma squeeze would be nuts. Oh, Miss Rodriguez, hello. Another gamma squeeze, guys. Here's the deal. Think about it. Another gamma squeeze at $50 would put us, and remember, we went up 100%. Another 50% or another 100% from $50. That's $100. Think about it. It's very, very possible that next week we'll be in the $100, right? Especially if these options expire in the money. And that's why I'm so excited about next week, because and this week, right? Because we don't know which way it's going to go, which way it's going to happen, but I'm very much looking forward to that. Chris Stalker says, bro, they're trying so hard to mislead us into selling. Yeah, Chris, I mean, they are, right? They're absolutely going to try to let me fix this real quick. How do I fix this? One second. All right. So let's go ahead and continue here. What happens whenever Bolak says, what happens when they have to hedge more shares than exist? Well, hard to say. So I would imagine these shares are going to be probably hard to find, right? And I think if they're unable to find these shares, that's when the failure to delivers happen, I believe. And whenever they have all these failure to delivers, well, look what happens whenever their failure to deliver gets high. Let's look at the failure to deliver over here. This was January 27th. If anyone knows what happened January 27th, January 27th is whenever we ran up to $25 for the first time. From $5 to $25, very, very bullish sentiment. Very, very bullish sentiment. And I think we're finally on DTC 005, the moment everyone has been waiting for. And so DTC 005 should be effective immediately. Right, immediately. If we go to the notices over here, we can see here where's 005. So keep in mind, there was a filing that said any new filing that comes out is going to be effective immediately, because it used to be 10 days. So it was 10 days, and then they decided, you know what, 10 days is too long. We don't need 10 days because there's a whole process where they have how long do they have? They have way longer than 10 days before the filings are announced. So what they decided is, okay, what we're going to do is whenever these filings are filed, after they're approved or whatever, they're approved instantly rather than that 10-day implementation period. So with that being the case, you can see right here, filing will be effective immediately, right? Now, keep in mind, yep, here we go. This is what I was looking for. So keep in mind, this is if enforced. The only thing that I freaking can't stand about these some of these filings are not only do they have to be enforced, right? It's not like the system is continuously monitoring and saying, hey, like, this is not good, we're going to cover you. Hey, this is not good, we're going to cover you, or however it goes. But excuse me. But basically the way it works is they have to enforce it, which is so lame. But for those of you, so let's talk about DTC 005 will be instated today to ensure that a security can't be borrowed more than once again, right? This is a big one for if enforced. AMC. So keep in mind, so this theoretically is naked shorts, right? Naked shorting. Naked shorting is whenever they borrow a share or whatever that they don't actually own, or sell the share that they don't actually own, and they do it more than one time, and so it goes over and over again. And that's why people are saying theoretically there are over 2.5 billion shares that are naked, right? Meaning are artificial shares that don't actually exist. And where that comes into play is, okay, well, what's the big deal? Well, there's only supposed to be 500 million shares. 2.5 billion is 5 times the float. So theoretically, they would have to purchase the AMC. 5 times over before they actually start covering the real shares, right? And in order for them to start covering those shares, an ape has to sell, right? So if an ape doesn't sell, then theoretically this is going to be a computer. If it is a margin call, there's going to be a computer running up the ask, right here on this side. They're going to be saying, okay, fill this order 200, no problem, fill this order, whatever this is. Now let's say people really aren't selling, and this goes from 59, 60, 61, 62, 65, 68, 70. And because people aren't selling, well, guess what? It's going to keep running up because there are because people aren't selling, and it's just going to fill in as many orders as it can. Now, granted, people are going to probably paper hand and sell early or whatever it is. But even then, if they're not selling enough shares, if it is still going up, like if these shares are still flying, what was I going to say? Either way, if they're not able to find those shares, right, the stock is going to gap up. It's going to continue to gap up. It's not going to stop. And I think that's extremely important for people to know that about what could happen there, because people don't really understand how this buying system is going to work. And remember, from what I've read, it's going to be a computer that is just filling it, right? It doesn't care about anything, doesn't care about how much it's going to cost, doesn't care about anything. It's just going to purchase the shares, and that's it. That's its one job. Purchase the shares no matter what the cost is. And that is why people are saying this is going to be nuts. It's going to be insane. Bolak says, do they have to cover the fake shares before the real shares? I'm not sure which direction it goes in, if it even identifies fake shares as real shares or however it goes. So for example, if we're looking at the Ortex numbers, right, I don't know if these numbers are going to go down. This, for all I know, and just to be prepared, right, for all I know, this could go to 0 and this could go to 0 or whatever. And that means that the actual real shares have been covered. But let's say but the naked shares still have to go through, right? So I'm going to be looking at these numbers during the squeeze, but I'm going to be very, very weary about the way this is being covered, because if this isn't being covered, because if this does cover, these first and then the fake shares, it's going to be very unknown. But for all I know, maybe it'll be an even, for every, one share, it'll be 5 synthetic shares or whatever it would be. It's just, you're just going to have to really, it's going to be tricky. You're going to have to feel it or know the DD or just play it slow. I'm going to play it very, very, very slowly because I don't know who's going to be purchased, who's not going to be purchased, which way it's going to go. I'm just going to, I feel like I know which way it's going to go. So I'm just going to be holding strong. If I hold strong long enough, it could be great. It could be some good stuff. David Frey says, if the margin call happens with a computer, will there be halts if it goes up quick? Yes, 100%, David. I truly believe. Oh, sorry, Vexy, thank you for the super chat. Vexy said, I made a AMC to the moon wallpaper on RWSB new. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to see if I can find that. Well, I'd love to take a look. So David Frey says, yeah, if a margin calls with a computer, will it be halts if it goes up too quick? Yes, absolutely. They're going to be circuit breaker halts, right? They're going to be moving. It's going to be moving so quickly that it's going to, I personally truly believe it's going to gap up. It's going to halt. People are going to freak out. It's going to gap up. Halt, freak out, gap up. And just because it's moving too quickly, it's just going to be moving way too quickly. And it's gonna look wild. It's gonna look really wild, and maybe it'll dip for a second and hover for a second, and then it'll halt and gap up, right? It's just the way it goes. I think whenever it was moving like this, it gapped up several times or halted several times because it was moving too quickly. I think there were about more than 4 halts on this day. It was wild, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, halted. And I was like, it's scary. I know what's happening. It's obviously going up, and it halts, And I was like, holy smokes, like what's going to happen? And then it goes up and then it halts. And I'm like, oh man, what's going to happen now? It's very scary, right? But, I knew it was like, this is good, right? And even if worst case scenario, what if it starts going down, right? Again, what am I going to do? Am I going to sell? I'm not going to sell. So it is what it is. I'll let it happen. But I know the DD, and that's what's happened. That's what I believe is going to happen. So, but yeah, so that's a very good question. I do want you to be prepared for possible halts, short halts, a few minutes or whatever it'll be, and go and continue to move. AMC has not said. I believe Adam Aaron said he has zero intention of doing any kind of stock split, anything like that. So I wouldn't worry about stock splits and all these what ifs. What if they do an NFT? What if they do a dividend? What if they do this? Adam Aaron, I think he said he has no intention or I don't know if he said he has no intention, but the way his demeanor was, he has no intention of a he might have said it explicitly, but no intention of a dividend, of like a crypto or whatever people are expecting, of a stock split or reverse split for that matter. He has no intention of anything. He's going to let it be as is. Or maybe he wasn't allowed to say it just yet, but yeah. Definitely see halts. Who do you have stocks with? So I have most of my largest positions. I would say 99% of my portfolio is in Fidelity. The rest is in here and in Webull. And when I say the rest, I mean like $10,000 in Webull. And yeah. Richard, permission to freak out, sir. Permission granted. Let's see. Yep, Brian says there are always halts in the market hours if movement is too quick. Yeah, and this happens with other stocks too. Halts are relatively normal. Nothing to freak out too much on. It is a little scary whenever you're in it and you're so invested and you're watching it and it's not moving. You're like, what is going on? But just deep breaths. Oh, Brian says, however, there are no halts in the after hours. That's when we should be looking for the big spike. That's a good point. I didn't think about that, but that's a really good point because we did see that over here in the 3 month, and we'll just go back a little bit. If we go over here, oops, man, it's been a while. Here, everything happened in the pre-market and the after hours, right? After hours started running, pre-market started running. It was crazy. Even here, again, in the after hours, it started running, and pre-market, boom, Robinhood halted trading and ruined momentum temporarily. But guess what? If you're out of Robinhood, you're out of Robinhood. Final boarding call. If you were still in Robinhood, hopefully everything will be okay this time. But I personally was not able to risk it. I was all in Robinhood, 100% in Robinhood. They did what they did, and I was like, oh, I don't want to miss the squeeze. I don't want to miss the squeeze. And I waited and waited. And you know what? I finally traded. I moved over to Fidelity. It took about 2 days, 2 business days, right? And you know what? I feel so much more calm about switching over. Okay. So final boarding call, in my personal opinion, if you have not changed brokerages, this may be your last week to do so. Okay. If you start it tomorrow morning, it'll probably be done by like Friday morning or Friday at the latest. I believe so. Okay. They're going to say 3 to 5 days or whatever they're going to say, but realistically, it's been going that fast. And I think most people are done transferring. And here's the deal. If you don't want to transfer out of Robinhood, that's your prerogative. But I personally, I was not willing to risk it. And my biggest fear is that, one of my biggest fears, I should say, is somebody's going to stay in Robinhood. Robinhood is going to have errors or whatever. They had it with Dogecoin and stuff when Dogecoin was running. From my understanding, you couldn't buy, you couldn't sell, you couldn't do anything. You were stuck. And every time it ran, they would magically have errors. So keep that in mind whenever you are, if you are in Robinhood and you're hanging out. Personally, anyways, I'm gonna stop there because I know I'm just rambling. but keep that in mind. Okay, if you want to transfer, if you feel okay to transfer, don't take my word for it, but if you would like to transfer, I would start it tonight, tomorrow morning, whenever. This way you can be done hopefully I believe you would be done by Friday, and if next week it does squeeze on Tuesday, then good stuff. Okay, freaking out. Yeah, they have breakers each way. Whichever way the stock is going, yes, they do have circuit breakers each way. Oh yeah, how much did hedge funds lose today? I love to look at it. We already looked at it, but I'll look at it again. Today, hedge funds are, I don't think they have the today numbers. The stock was basically up 3%, but on Monday, they lost, there's a discrepancy here. It does say 512 million and 488 million. Even if it was 488 million only, I feel pretty freaking fantastic about it. That's good enough for me. That is good enough for me. Is it possible for naked shorts to not be covered more than a year? Will the brokers not allow them to purposely delay covering the shorts? John, that is a great question. It's such a hard question, right? Because is it possible for them to not be covered more than a year? I'll put it this way. If the hedge funds had it their way, they would never cover. They would pay the fees or whatever until it's not worth it for them to. Because remember, if they're paying think about it, if they're paying $488 million on Monday alone, to not cover, from a business perspective, it doesn't make sense not to cover, right? So imagine how much they're going to lose. Tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars they're going to lose if the stock continues to go up, which it does seem that it's going to continue to go up. Imagine how much money they're going to lose during that time. So I'm sure they would, and they just hope that the apes get tired of it. They get bored. Unfortunately for them, that's not the case. Apes are getting more bullish, buying more shares by the day. And especially if you bought, like I've been saying, if you bought within 2 weeks, or if you bought it more than 2 weeks ago, the stock, you're up, you're good, right? You're good. Because right here was the 2 week mark. You bought it over here. If you bought it at $37, what was this right here? Sure, we'll call it 36 bucks. Even if you bought here, you're good. You're up. So it's going to be very hard to shake us out of our positions. I think, shake any kind of ape out of their position. And what I also think is that the hedge funds, their backs are against the wall, right? They're going to be and I think what's happening, remember, all these magical filings are coming out. Very quickly, they removed the rule saying it takes 10 days to implement. They removed it. They said, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and implement everything immediately as they come out, which is just insane, right? So they've also closed loopholes on some of the filings. They've made it so that they have to report their positions or something like that daily. There's so much that has happened that has looked very bullish for a squeeze specifically, that I'm feeling very good about all of this stuff. And to answer your question, I guess, actually answer it. I don't think that they're going to allow them to delay it for that long, right? Unless the stock goes all the way back down, which I don't think it will. I think eventually what is going to happen is they're going to be forced to cover by one of these filings, one of these like rule filings that have been that have passed. Can't Stop, Won't Stop GameStop says they haven't lost anything until they close shorts. So that's a good point, but you have to keep in mind they are losing short interest. They're paying that interest on these positions regardless. So I think they are losing that short interest. From my understanding, is being paid daily. And so they are losing that. Now as far as their short position, sure, I haven't gained anything until I sold. That's accurate. You're 100% right in that aspect, right? But until they close, then it's not a realized loss. So that is a good point. The Vault says you will know they have covered, and you can see when they're all bankrupt. Ortex won't matter. That's a good point. If this continues to go up, squeezes, they'll go bankrupt. And even if after they're bankrupt, right? Keep in mind, after they're bankrupt, the DTCC will pay, and they're insured for $67 trillion, which I think the DD supported. If the stock went up to, was it $500,000, it would still cover. I don't know if this is accurate. If I were to do 500 million times $500,000, what is this? Let's see, millions, billions, trillions, 250 trillion. So the DD, I guess, would support the 100,000 times. Well, you know what? Guess what? If the DTCC insurance doesn't cover it enough, guess what? The Federal Reserve will pay for it. The Federal Reserve will pay for it. So even if these hedge funds go bankrupt, the squeeze is still on. Okay. I guess theoretically, I really don't know how it would work that far, but keep in mind that there are entities that will pay. There's two, well, I guess two additional fail safes. That there's the hedge funds, and then the fail safe would be the DTCC, then the Federal Reserve. So don't worry about Tendy Town. And they also can't do a stock split without our consent. Yeah, I'm not too worried about stock splits and stuff like that. Although they might be helpful for a squeeze, I don't think Adam Aaron will actually do it. Sure is E-Trade. I don't know anything about E-Trade, if E-Trade like halted trading or anything like that. I'm really not sure, but I do like I like Webull and I like Fidelity. Webull has an amazing interface, and if you've been here long enough, you know I absolutely love the interface of Robinhood. It's a little plain these days after being on Webull for so long, but you know, not enough things. But their trading, how you execute trades, and all of that stuff is too good, too easy. It really is amazing what a good job they did with their platform. I honestly wish that Fidelity would basically purchase Robinhood, dissolve everything about Robinhood, and just use their platform. I would. Fidelity would take over 100%, more than they'd probably already have. They probably have the majority of the market share, I would imagine, for or probably a pretty good amount of market share for trading and stuff. I'm out of Robinhood. Okay, good. I'm finally at the Robinhood comments, but I'm very happy to see that people are, I'm not trying to. I just want people to be aware, just informed about what's going on with these Robinhood things. Yeah, good luck, Robinhood hodlers. 100%. Oh gosh, not very, very scary. Nick says, so with Robinhood, even if we put it on limit option, the sell, that's not. It's not even really that. Like, people are, and I don't know if this is accurate or whatever. I've heard on Reddit horror stories of people who have been covered, like who just were randomly liquidated. I've heard horror stories of, I've heard people that they read the fine print of Robinhood, and it said that they can liquidate your account whenever they want. Whether you're on a margin account, not on a margin account, they have the right to liquidate your account just whenever they see fit. Just a bunch of these random things. And I don't know if it's actually accurate. I haven't gone through and read it. So just take that for what it is. But I've just seen some scary stuff that, people just seem to really hate Robinhood. And remember, Robinhood sells your trading info to Citadel. And if you don't know that, then now you know. It was in the from the words of Robinhood CEO Vlad, who he said he let us know all the trading. That's how they make their money. Over 50% of their business is selling your trading info to the hedge funds. And guess what the hedge funds have? The hedge funds have systems that they can execute their orders faster than your orders. So guess what? If you think if everyone on Robinhood was placing an order saying, hey, I think the stock is going to go up, they're buying shares or whatever, Citadel can do whatever they want with that information. They can hop in before you and say, okay, well, I'm gonna put a short call in, I say short, but I mean a quick call in. I'm gonna put a call. It's gonna run up, and I'm gonna get out, or I'm gonna switch it to, I'm gonna sell it, go to a short, make the stock fall. I mean, they can control everything about the market, which is kind of messed up. But so I just don't trust it. I just don't trust it. Do not trust it. So Hamza says, I doubt Robinhood will do it this time. I think that if something happens, it will happen across the board. So this is true, but what you have to keep in mind is that it wasn't necessarily, I think it was Robinhood, but it was also their clearinghouse, right? Their clearinghouse, Apex, is the same thing that Webull uses, but the difference is Webull got up and running, I think, the same day, full trading capability, no limitations, whereas Robinhood said you can only buy one share of GameStop. And I think it was like 10 shares of AMC, and they severely limited trading, to the point where the stock can only go one way. So yikes. Margin call is illegal? No, margin call is perfectly legal. We can get margin called. If I was on margin and the stock was going down, and I was trading on margin, and they said, hey, you don't have enough money, like if the stock is going down, we don't believe you can pay this, so they'll give me a margin call. I just have to put more money in my account. It's actually not too bad. It's a pretty simple process, in theory, but imagine it going the opposite way. If I'm betting for the stock to go down and it goes up, then they're gonna say, hey, you need to put more liquidity in this, and theoretically what the theory is the hedge funds are going to get margin called because their position is so bad. Imagine having a $2 position, or $5, whatever their short position is, and then it just runs up. It could just be so bad for them. It's very risky, right? And people don't want to be in that position, like market makers and stuff. Oh, actually, I had one more thing over here that I wanted to take a look at. So JTTC, and then can we please finally agree that the SEC is not our friend? Stop drawing them into this. So here's Christine Andrews says the SEC has confirmed investigations into AMC. This means at CEO, this CEO Adam Aaron, and he tagged him in here, is being questioned for exaggerations or misleading statements. That right there tells you that everything wrong with the system. Why is the people who do the right thing are questioned the most? Now, again, I can't verify the validity of this or anything like that, but keep in mind that SEC is not your friend. The whole SEC do your job tag probably really isn't that good as far as it goes for the apes. You know what I mean? And having them do it, but theoretically they shouldn't have any kind of ill will towards us trying to have something happen, but you never know. And I think it's so interesting that Adam Aaron is being investigated. Whenever Adam Aaron, he really hasn't said anything. The apes have kind of been upset at him for not saying more, right? And realistically, he's not allowed to say more about naked shorts or anything like that if there's any kind of unless there's true hard evidence that he can back up, because he'll have legal implications on that. So yeah, just and this goes back to the points. I'll touch these points again. They're just individuals. We are all individuals who, just like a stock, we share information with each other, and that's it. I'm not telling you what to buy, what to sell, how to trade, what to trade, anything like that. I'm just letting you know some of the that I see. And on top of that, where are we? Oh, Nick, thanks for the donation, my friend. On top of that, right here, just be careful. The hedge funds would love nothing more than for the apes to be colluding and deciding, and the SEC stepping in and stopping the squeeze or whatever's going to happen. Be very careful with what you see, even what you upvote on Reddit and stuff. What people are doing. Just be very, very careful with it. Daniel says, what's your price range you believe bankruptcies will occur? Hard to say. I really don't have a price range where I think it would occur. I think it would just be on the news one day, right? Like huge hedge fund, Citadel, files for bankruptcy. But I really don't have like a price. I don't know what it would be. Depends how much capital they have. And then remember, they have a bunch of positions anyway. So they would theoretically have to liquidate their other positions, which could theoretically, depending how many hedge funds are in these stocks, right? And or like short on AMC specifically, and AMC, GameStop, all these other meme stocks, then if they have to liquidate all their other positions to cover AMC, then that could make, then the actual price per share would have to be pretty high. The other theoretically, parts of the market could crash. It's just a whole thing. It's a whole freaking thing. It is a whole thing. Margins are very risky. I traded on margin before. I really didn't mind margin too much. Margin has a bad rep because of probably Robinhood and everything that has been bad for margin. Well, you didn't say margin are bad. You said they're risky. Margin, can be kind of risky. I feel like I make some good plays and I'm pretty comfortable trading on margin, but I have margin completely turned off for everything going on because that's how people got messed up last time, and I don't want to risk it. Yeah, Chill Ape says some people are trading on margin unaware of the risk. Yeah, keep in mind, if you don't know what margin is, please don't trade on, well, do what you want, but I probably wouldn't recommend trading on margin. Can be risky. You need to have some extra capital on the side just in case your trades go south or awry. But yeah, margin can be actually an excellent tool. Whenever I was using it, it was an excellent tool for me to leverage my money and make more money and kind of pay, the interest and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, I did end up turning it off. I just didn't want the responsibility or the risk, especially with everything going on right now. Okay, so I'm seeing a few comments about this thing. Yeah. So crystal clear. I guess I should have emphasized that a little more. I don't have a source for this thing. This person is actually a lot of people actually do look to this person for DD and stuff, but that's a good point. I don't have a source on this. I don't have any kind of proof on this. So, and I should have mentioned that I usually do a pretty good job whenever I'm talking about these Reddit articles. But yes, thank you for just keeping me honest. Has no source. Don't trust this yet. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But I should have mentioned that. So you're right. I own that one. That was my mistake. What do you think about dough? I don't know if you're talking about dough in San Antonio, because I ate there and it was delicious. I agree with you, Milio. I don't think Robinhood would do it again unless they want to get sued. But you know what? They've been doing it with, like I said, Doge and stuff, right? They and for all we know, they're toggling, toggling a switch. Oh, trading's not working. I don't know what's going on. Trading's not working. Oh, blah blah blah. And then now, and then somebody comes. Oh, we fixed it. No worries. And then someone leaves, and then having errors again. You know who else does that? Citadel. Citadel does that with their algorithms, right? Their trading algorithms. We saw that in the DD with A Tobit with Austin. They turn off. They eat these fines, these $10,000 fines. They make a couple million or billion or whatever it's going to be, and then they say, hey, like you're having an issue. We're going to fine you $10,000. Make sure it's fixed. They say, oh, yep, it's fixed. Then they have another fine for the same issue. They got the same fine. Tons of times, the same fine about the same issue because they keep turning it off and on again. It's ridiculous. It's insane. Okay, let's see. But you know, hopefully Robinhood doesn't do it again. But either way, I'm not willing to risk it, right? What if they do it again, right? What if there's a 20% chance they're going to do it? Then I'm not willing to risk it. I'd rather move over to Fidelity and feel good about my position. Because I called Fidelity whenever I was transferring, and I said, hey, like, what's your stance on this? And they had a very strong stance about how it was wrong, how it should have never happened, how it wasn't good, and how they would never do anything like that. So hopefully that's true. I do know Fidelity is very, very, very large. They should have the infrastructure to support something like this, and we'll have to see. Angela, new sub. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm going to visit San Antonio soon. Any recommendations? Oh gosh, there's so many things. I mean, there are like good restaurants to go to. You have to go to the Pearl. There's a bunch of stuff. We'll have to have a San Antonio day where we talk about these things. Yeah. Okay, so Huios, this is a good question. We get this all the time. Julio said, didn't Fidelity mess with Trey? And so here's the deal. No one truly knows Trey's trades. You know what happened exactly? He said he was trading on a 1-to-1 margin account, and the stock, the stock went down, and this is in January. It went down to $6 or whatever. I think it touched $6 temporarily, and that is whenever it just so happened to be the lowest day or the lowest dollar amount that the squeeze went to or something like that. Just tapped it for a second, or that, the gamma squeeze in January. Just tapped it for a quick second, and boom, like liquidated. So that's what happened with that. Okay. Now, I'm sure Trey, he understands what's going on, blah, blah, blah. But, Trey, he's a smart dude. He knows everything. Like, oh, Farva. Yeah. I'm in San Antonio. New Braunfels. Very cool. Very cool. We're going to have a meetup day. Because I go between San Antonio and my family's in Florida, so I visit all the time. I would love to do a like a meetup in, I don't know, like a theater or something. The Riverwalk AMC theater could be pretty cool. That's the only AMC theater in San Antonio, and yeah, I would love to do a quick meetup with you guys. And I don't know, maybe we can rent a theater or something, watch a movie, or watch something. I don't know. I can go live from there one day, maybe. Who knows? But that could be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and continue and see what the dealio is. We were talking about Trey. So that's not what Trey. Oh, Samir, new subscriber. Thank you very much. What was I saying? So that's what happened with Trey. It's super unfortunate. Apparently he lost out a lot of money on that. And it's freaking lame, honestly. It's messed up what happens. But you know what? I'm not trading on margin. Like, that's why I'm just not trading on margin. I'd rather just not risk it. Is Vanguard legit? Here's the deal. Vanguard, I think they're legit, but I don't like working on, but my boss, actually, he's in Vanguard, and he was trying to do a trade on there or something, and maybe he was in the wrong part. I don't think he does trades very often on Vanguard, but he was trying to show me his positions was hard enough. Like, was hard. So I don't know what their interface is like. I really don't know anything about Vanguard, but from my understanding, yeah, they seem pretty legit. They're big like Fidelity in my opinion. Laredo, holy smokes, we have so many people around San Antonio. This is so freaking cool. This is so cool. We're gonna have to I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'm gonna have to make sure make sure you guys are like subscribing stuff with like notifications, because I'm gonna do, I don't know when I'll do it or watch a live stream. I don't know. Just check in every once in a while. Just check on the channel every once in a while, because I'm going to I really do want to do a meetup. I don't know when it'll be, if it'll be this month even or what, but I would love to do some kind of meet up with all the people around San Antonio and Austin. That could be pretty cool. That could be very cool. We'll have to see. But okay. Yes. Thank you, Diamond, for coming in clutch. Yes, guys. Keep in mind, anything I say, these are my own personal thoughts. Just my own personal, feeling about what's going on. So, any kind of trade you're thinking about doing through, my sentiment, just keep in mind, it's just not financial advice or anything. It's like, it is what it is, and that's all that it is. All right. So yeah, but all right, guys, I'm going to start, San Antonio. But I'm going to start wrapping up. My food is here, and I want to get a little grub, but, I'll just end it with this. Be ready for some crazy movement tomorrow. And by crazy, I mean, I really do believe they're probably going to want to get a head start on shorting the stock, short ladder attacks and everything. I would not be surprised at all if they started tomorrow. Okay. I really would not be surprised, if they start doing tomorrow, but I will say that if this, if we do expire over $40 by Friday, I do believe that, I personally think that we will probably gamma squeeze next week. And I think we'll probably see $100 next week, if not some kind of margin call, right? And so keep that in mind. All right. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully it's a good day, right? I'm not trying to bring down the mood or anything, but just to set expectations so you guys are ready with your diamond hands to do what you need to do, whether it's hold, whether it's, take care of yourself, whatever it would be. All right. But all right, guys, you guys have a fantastic night. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. We will see you tomorrow. All right. Peace.
you.